Hi everyone, it's Welcome to the Week with Dr. RP. This is for week 4, summer 2021, EDUL 5604. Hi, I'm here to introduce you to our week 4 topic of Intro to Doc Studies, which is the dissertation. Dun, dun, dun! Boy, when everyone thinks about starting a doctoral program, sometimes what they think about is, oh, I'm going to have to take classes again and wonder what that's going to be like. But mostly what they think about is, I'm going to have to write a dissertation. And some people think of it as their giant research project. Some people think of it as their big paper. That's how I thought of it. And I had to just think of it that way to reduce its pressure on me. Some people think of it as their book, but many people think of it as their life-altering, world-changing deep dive into some sort of research that is going to influence the world for the better, and that I need to do my very best, deepest, most important research ever. This is going to be the research that changes the world for good, and that I need to be so focused and so skilled and really make an effort to make a difference in this one research project. And they put a lot of pressure on themselves. And I'm here to tell you, this is one research project, possibly of many that you're going to be doing in your lifetime. I hope one of many. Now, for some of you, it may be the only research project that you do. And I certainly don't want to dismiss the fact that the research that we do, especially as practitioners, is extremely important. It is. We're doing research on topics that matter to us, with populations who matter to us. And so that makes it important. But it's also just research, and it doesn't have to be the most important, the most impactful, the most influential research that was ever written. The fact of the matter is, it's our beginning research project, and it's going to be flawed, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be hard, and all those things can be true at the same time, and that's going to be true for you too. So as we go into this week and we think about what a dissertation is and what it can be, I want you to be encouraged that you are going to be writing one, and it's going to be okay. Here we are midway through the doctoral degree process, headed into what will be the start of the dissertation process, and you will be able to do it. It might feel like right now, I don't know if I can. That might be how you feel. But as they say in old Roberts and Hyatt, by the time it gets to the place where you have to write it, you'll be able to write it. It's a grow as you go sort of experience. So this week, as we prepare for week 4, learning about the dissertation, we have a few things that we're going to do. I'm going to show you, well, first I'm just going to say that you're going to read chapter 2 of the dissertation journey. And I want you to read it closely. It's not a very long chapter, but there's some really important stuff in there that I think will be useful to you. And of course, what happened to my page that I had pulled up for you guys? Oh, there it is. Roberts and Hyatt talks about a number in chapter 2. It's only like 10 pages, and some of it is really big figures. So they talk about the typical dissertation 5-chapter structure, which is what most of our students do. You could do that too. They also talk about some different types of dissertations. So they talk about model building studies. They talk about case study formats. I have a colleague who did a 3-article dissertation. So she had chapter 1, and then she had 3 articles, and then chapter 5. So when she was finished, she had 3 articles she could submit for publication. I know a colleague when I was on a dissertation of the year committee. This gentleman won dissertation of the year in 2019 from the Association of the Study of Higher Education. His name is Dr. Stevie Johnson. He got his degree from the University of Oklahoma. His dissertation was titled Curriculum of the Mind, a Black Crit Narrative Inquiry Hip-Hop Album on Anti-Blackness and Freedom for Black Male Collegians at Historically White Institutions. And his dissertation was actually a hip-hop album, a record produced by him and his participants that they co-wrote the lyrics and music together and produced into an album, and he used that experience to write a written dissertation to go alongside of it, and it was awesome. It was very creative. Dr. Maher and I and the EDD program are in support of creative alternative dissertation formats. So if you're interested in writing a more traditionally styled dissertation, that's fine. And if you're interested in talking with me or her or your current dissertation advisor, if they change along the way about doing alternative formats, we're willing to work with you to think about what different formats might look like and why that would be important to your topic and to the way that your dissertation looks. So for example, let's say you were interested in doing photo voice or photojournalism for your dissertation. Well, maybe the traditional 5-chapter structure wouldn't work for that. Maybe instead you want to have a photo journal or a art show for the dissertation. So there's freedom to have some flexibility. So I just want to let you know that that's a possibility, and it's okay to have some flexibility with regard to that. So this week, you're not only going to read chapter 2 of the dissertation journey, but you're also going to be reading a dissertation. And if you go to Canvas, you'll see that each of you has a dissertation, a link to a dissertation that I want you to read or skim this week. They're pretty long, like in the 200 pages. So you don't have to read them word for word. If you're normally a word for word reader, don't do that this week. Skim those dissertations, read the abstract, read the headings, get a sense of the methods, get kind of the sense of what kind of literature they use to answer their research questions, get a sense of the results, and just get a feel for those dissertations. How did they approach their research questions? How did they approach their research? Skim it. You'll have a chance to read it more thoroughly over the next few weeks in anticipation of the evaluation project that we're doing at the end of this summer. I've picked the dissertations that are they're related a little to the interests that you have, but they're not totally related or very, very specifically related. And that's because that work hasn't been done yet that you're interested in, or I wasn't going to do a big search on it because I know you're doing those searches. But I think you'll find them interesting. And I'm really looking forward to the discussion that we're going to have this week on those. You're also going to skim chapter 3 on ethics and research, and we'll talk about that more later this semester too. So, excuse me. Let's look at the rest of this for this week. You are also going to listen to a podcast by Dr. Marvette Lacey, who I introduced you to last week. This week, she's going to be talking, this is required. It's just 30 minutes. She's talking with, I think it's Dr. Ashley Adams, about working full-time while getting your doctorate degree. And I think you're all going to find it really interesting. And then just a reminder that we have the dissertation discussion board that's due on July 1st. And draft 1 of your research statement, the written draft of your research statement, remember, no more than 2 pages, is due on Monday, July 5th. That's what's due, and that's what's going on for this week, week 4 of Intro to Doc Studies. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the dissertation, engaging with you in the discussion board, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.